From gardening remains and leaves to food leftovers, composting is a natural breakdown of materials into rich fertilizer. Now that you own a compost tumbler from Lifetime Products, here are some instructions on how to start composting and helpful tips to get the best results. Composting is a simple process where nature does most of the work for you. However, to make nice, rich compost, there are 5 key items to remember: brown materials, green materials, oxygen, and heat and water. Providing a balance of these essentials will ensure you get the best quality compost. There are 2 types of organic material used in compost. The first is predominantly brown or carbon-rich items, such as dead leaves, straw, paper, and wood shavings. The second is predominantly green or nitrogen-rich items. These include grass clippings, vegetable remains, and kitchen scraps. Successful compost includes a carbon to nitrogen ratio of about 20 parts brown to 1 part green. This ratio may vary based on the various materials used. However, the majority of your ingredients should always be brown, carbon-rich items. Although most household and gardening waste can be used in composting, there are some items that will not decompose, will attract pests, and are not safe to include in your compost. Along with the proper organic ingredients, oxygen, heat, and water are essential for the composting process. However, the Lifetime Compost Tumbler makes this part easy. By rotating the compost regularly, the internal mixing bar aerates the compost and provides the oxygen necessary for decomposition. Mix the compost with several revolutions once a week or every time you add new materials to the compost. It is important to rotate your composter so the material does not clump together. The more oxygen, the faster your material will decompose. The black, high-density polyethylene panels of the Lifetime Compost Tumbler absorb and retain the heat required for composting, even on cloudy days. Active compost temperatures should range from 80 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Some materials, such as food remains and fresh grass clippings, have high water content and will naturally add moisture to the compost. Dry ingredients, such as paper products, leaves, and woody materials, may need to be shredded and moistened to obtain the best results. Water can be directly added along the way if the compost material is dry and flaky. Your compost should be moist, but not soggy. If there is too much moisture in your compost, simply add some dry items such as shredded paper towels or newspaper. The composting process usually takes about 4 to 12 weeks, depending on materials used and the environment. But there is no specific time in which compost is finished. It's a bit more subjective than that. Finished compost is dark brown and has an earthy smell. The material should be broken down into fine, moist soil, and it should be difficult to recognize any original ingredients. Anything that takes longer to decompose can be left in the composter and go through with the next batch. Compost is an excellent addition to garden soil, container mixes, or can be used as mulch. It is important to get a good balance of ingredients in your compost to ensure that it heats up nicely and breaks down effectively. Adding too much brown or carbon material will result in compost that takes a long time to break down, while adding too much green and nitrogen-rich material will result in compost that is slimy and smells. Well-mixed compost will not smell. Using the right ratio of both types of material will make a huge difference in your compost results. Since the brown, carbon-rich material takes the longest amount of time to break down, if you shred and moisten them, it will significantly reduce the time it takes to compost. Composting is a batch process, so more than one composter is recommended. Decomposing takes from 4 to 12 weeks. The more material you continue to add, the longer it will take to finish composting. If you have two composters, one can be available for loading new material while the other decomposes. If you're still not getting the desired results, adding a little soil or finished compost can provide the microbes needed to help speed up the process. There are many commercially made compost starters or activators that might be worth a try. Nitrogen fertilizer can be added if you're short on green material. Only use small amounts and make sure to follow the directions provided with the additives. There are many benefits of composting. Compost is one of nature's best fertilizers. Using compost improves soil fertility and stimulates healthy root development in plants. The organic matter keeps the soil in a healthy, balanced condition and retains moisture in the soil, which helps reduce watering costs. Compost is a less expensive alternative to commercial fertilizer. Compost saves landfill space by recycling materials into a product that is good for your garden and the environment.